Hey, it's Melissa from Special Ed Law Mom coming to you with another video. So, I wanted to talk to you today about independent education evaluations. Now, I have a video on my channel all about those. I'll put a link to it down below. It was done years ago. I look quite a bit different. But I've noticed a lot of people questioning IEEs, which is what they're known as lately. And I wanted to let you know that they are a double-edged sword. So, when you disagree with a school's evaluation, you have the right to request an independent evaluation at the school's expense. And they have two choices. Although they try to make a third, they only have two choices under the law. One is to grant your request, the other is to deny it. If they deny it, two things have to happen. They have to provide you prior written notice as to why they're denying it, and they have to file due process against you. Now, if you've watched any of my videos about the procedural safeguards or my own experience with due process, you know that it can be extremely taxing. And due process, let's see, 12 years ago when we did it, was a minimum of $25,000 with attorneys and expert witnesses. And that was doing it on a budget with me acting as the paralegal. So if you're asking for a $1,500 evaluation with a neuropsych or something, it's going to be in the school's best interest to grant that rather than take you to due process because they're gonna have to defend whatever eval they did and pay an attorney and whatnot. And it's just the math itself, it's more cost effective for them to grant it for you. But I have heard of scenarios where they will file due process instead. The more common scenario is they will just tell you, we're not going to do that. Have a nice day. And then you're left with, but wait, they're supposed to file due process. Um, and we can get into that in another video about some strategies that you might use to attack that delay tactic. But I wanted to let you know if they grant it, they don't have to implement anything from it. They can put limitations on how much they will spend on it. Yes, they can truly do that. And B, they don't have to implement anything from it. All they have to do is consider it. And how do you disprove if someone has considered something? If they sit in a meeting and they listen to the report from the IEE, they could already have their mind made up that they don't care. They're not going to do anything different and they're not required to. So you can request it. They can limit how much they will spend on it, and they can try to steer you to one of their providers, which is a whole nother subject. But at the end of the day, if everything goes well and they actually do what they should and grant it, they don't have to implement anything from it. So you can have an IEE that shows, Johnny has lots of problems, and they can say, we disagree. And then you've exhausted your right for an IEE, and you're basically left with filing a due process complaint against them. You could file a state complaint, but I don't find that states are very receptive to stepping in and determining eligibility. They're more in place to look at um, what's the word I'm looking for? Compliance with statutes, not necessarily individual eligibility issues. That would be a due process hearing, which takes you back to that $25,000 bill that I had 12 years ago. So, just wanted you to know that because I've seen some moms online who are like, but I had an IEE done and it said all these things that my child needs, and the school says they're not going to do anything. You're right. They don't have to. It's a flaw in IDEA. But it is what it is, and it's a double-edged sword, but it is something that you can utilize. Now, there could be situations where it's done and it can be helpful. We had that with our daughter where um, it wasn't necessarily an IEE, but they actually decided to do more intensive testing than they had done because we were pushing. And they found her eligible for 5 new goals from it because it was kind of hard to sit in a meeting and say, yeah, she doesn't have any needs when at least 5 needs were identified by their own person and a community provider that they trusted to evaluate her too. So it can be a good thing, but it is a mixed bag. Stay tuned for more videos about IEs. I'll try to remember to do those, but just wanted to let you know that they're great. It's a great tool. Watch my other video if you haven't seen it, but they don't have to do anything from it. So you can be wasting a lot of time going through the process, waiting for that evaluator, only to find that the school's going to disregard it anyways. So I hope that's helpful. And until next time, make it a great day. Thanks. Bye.